西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽。声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽。唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽。声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，唵咕噜连声西里吽，
阿弥陀佛，
唵咕噜连声。
阿弥陀佛，世界各地的莲花童子们，大家早上好，午安、晚上吉祥。我是今
Good
天的
afternoon,
主
good
持人
evening.
莲花
I
女
am
儿
today's
助教，
MC.
我来自马来西
Okay,
亚沙巴本觉雷藏寺。今
I'm
天
from
是
South
2024年5月10日，
in
星期五。在
Sabah,
这里还
Malaysia.
是跟往常一样，和大家报告一下，
Today is
我
the
们这
10th of
6
May.
门课生命礼仪都是3语直播，大家可以在 Zoom 这里
Just
选择华
a
语
small
频道、
announcement to
英
everyone
语
as
频
usual.
道
The
及
fifth
印尼
module of
频
the
道。
TBS Online
课程结束
University,
后，
the
我们
Etiquette of
会
Life is
把
also
3
delivered
语
in
视频放在我
is
们生活中
available
寻
in
求
three
财富
languages,
交心
Chinese,
与主
English,
修的
and
YouTube 频道，
Indonesian.
大家到时
And
候可以在
after
那里收
lesson,
看
after
全
each
部课程的
class,
回播。
we'll be
现
uploading
在把
all
课程的连
the
接发
videos of
上来。
all the all three languages onto our YouTube channel. So
好
be sure to
的，
check it out.
大家可以
And
观
yep,
看。
we have already sent the link
今天的
of the
课程
YouTube
是
channel
生命
of
礼
our
仪
YouTube
的
channel
第6
into the
章，
chat.
安葬须
So you can
知
refer
第
to that.
3节， 如何
So
确定
today's
亡
class
者
will
的
be
往
on
生境界。 我们将
chapter
在台湾时
6,
间
things to know
晚
about
上8
murals,
点
and
钟
lesson
正
3,
式
how
降
to
临课
determine the
程。
realm that the distance
上
has
个
been
星
reborn
期
into.
我
And we
们
will
学
start
习
class
了第6章，
at
安葬须
8 p.m.
知之
Taiwan
6
time.
节，灵骨塔的选择和安放仪轨。
And
请问大家有算一算，我们从开课到今
in
天
the previous
一
class, we
共
learned
上了
about
几堂课呢？知道吗？我们一共上了11堂课，也就是说 我们的课程已经进行了1/3咯，1/3。
So in the previous class, we learned about the selection of a colubrium leaf.
最重要的
And
是， 我们是否有
since
把
the
握
start of this module until
它
now,
会
have you
关于
kept
呢？
has anyone
所
kept
以
track of
今
how
天
many
特
lessons
别
we have
找
had
了诗中的一个金句，
since?
想和大家
So
分
it's
享。
we have already had
莫
11 lessons.
连生法王
So time
试
passes
验文
quickly.
集
So
第
just
172 册
would like to share a
水
golden
中
quote
的
from
客户
Grandmaster's
中，
book
在里面诗中提到
172.
说，我们每一个
And
人的一天都差不多，早上起床刷牙洗
in this
脸
book,
吃早
Grandmaster
餐
has said that
吃午餐
the
上
days that
班
we go
下班
through
回家
is
吃
more or
晚
less
餐
more or less the same
休
every
闲
day.
看电
In the
视
morning, we
或
wake
其
up, we
他
brush our teeth,
沐
then
浴
we go
上床
to
睡
work.
觉。其实
Then
人
after
的
work,
生活或有多种，
we
但大同
relax by
小
watching
异。
TV,
一
etc.
般人的生活
And then
也
after that, we
是
go to
如
bed.
此。
So
如
it's
果是
actually all the lives
我
that we are
们在
leading
家
are
居士，
quite
在家
similar.
上念佛、念咒、修法，一天可
However,
能
if
也
you are a
做过些。
practitioner,
也有很
you
多
may
人
also
果
engage
然
in cultivation, recite
连
mantras and
修法的
sutras.
时间都排不出来。大家以为寺庙的出家人最闲了，其实不然。早课、晚课、午供、法务、杂务，事情也很多，很多事情有的忙了。时光匆匆，一天又过去了，一年四季，光阴一去，小沙弥也成了老和尚。师尊常劝人，光阴莫虚度。什么叫光阴莫虚度？师尊问。也许很多人答不出来。天天日子过得差不多，穿衣、吃饭、行、住、
Testing, sorry.
什么叫光阴莫虚
Testing.
度？师尊说，把每一件事
Okay.
都做得
You
恰恰好，意即是
go
做好每一
go
件
the
小
earlier.
事。就算是光阴
So
莫
yes, in the
虚
book,
度了，守
Grandmaster
时、
emphasized that we should
守分、守节，便是光阴
do
莫
do
虚
even the
度。
smallest things
一
well.
时、4分、4节，便是光阴虚度。师尊写一小诗，不用复述，人人
And
都是
on
一
how
样的过
we
乐，
can
无得
pass our
无
days more
数，
meaningfully.
无长无短。
So
智
there's
慧
this poem that
是最真
Grandmaster
切的领
wrote,
悟，
which
岂用
literally, not
书
which
写墨
roughly translates to,
只在
there is no need
眉
to
上
make a
强
fuss.
行的做
Everyone
好，
lives the same
便
life.
是
There is
光
no
阴
loss
无
nor
虚度。
gain, no
这就
perfection
是
nor
今晚和
imperfection.
大家分
No
享
one
的
can
主
hold
题，
on to time.
光阴
What
莫
matters
虚
only
度。
is whether
如
your
果
mind is
你还
liberated.
在说
What matters
我
only
很
is
忙，
whether you are walking the
明
right
天
body
再开
path.
始吧。
If you
我
are,
请你
then there
记
is
住
no time
师尊
wasted.
说的，光阴莫虚
So
度。
this is this
接下来
is
分
something that I
享
want to share with
2/3的主
everyone
题
today.
课程，
So to treasure your
是
time
千
and to
万
not
别错
delay
过，好吗？
uh
大家一起加油吧！
walking the Bodhi
我们
path
今天的课程
and
继续
learning Buddha Dharma.
依然会有释疑解惑的环节，
So
我们会恭请武
as
术家
usual,
老
our
师
class
为大家一一的
after
解
our
答
class
疑
today,
惑。
we will have a
我们
Q&A
首先
segment
会先回答
and we will
老
invite
师
teacher
本
Wu
人
Zizai
给出的提问，
to
这
clarify
个
on the
才是今天大家的
questions
主
that
主题。
uh
在这里温馨的提醒大
questions
家，
from last week
温
first
馨温馨，
before
你们的问题一定跟
we move
今
on to
天
the
的课
questions
程
this
有
week.
关。
And just a gentle reminder to
所以不
everyone,
要问一些
please
外
ensure
行
that
的
you
好
ask
吗？谢
questions that
谢
are
大
related
家。
to today's topic, and please
好，谢
refrain
谢
from
现场的同门。
asking questions that are off topic.
还首先看到我
All
们
right,
的授课
so
师武志赞
welcome
老师，
everyone
晚
again
上
to class.
好。我们的翻译员涂真师兄
We
好。
see teacher Wu
场地
Zizai
翻译
online,
员丽璇助教晚上好。
so
心
as
理
well
老
as our
师
two
晚上好。陆
interpreters.
和师兄晚安。志龙助教晚上吉
So
祥。丽清师
DA
姐
Mail
晚
is
上
just
好。素
saying hi
清
to
师姐
everyone is
晚安。
online right now.
丽婵师姐晚安。国华师兄晚上好。文秀师姐好。彩虹助教早安。妩媚师姐好。德旺师兄吉祥。德旺助教吉祥。国龙讲师好。伟全助教晚上好。龙英助教早安。仙福助教早上好。秀兰师助教晚安。 佩芬助教晚上好，千金顺助教好，广泉师兄吉祥，莲花 ND 助教吉祥，啊，秋间助教晚上好，一才讲师晚上吉祥，玉英师姐晚上好，莲花书院助教晚上好，诶，昌飞浪师姐好，老钟师兄晚安，国辉讲师晚上好，整辉助教晚上好，建清师兄早上吉祥，钟凤助教晚上好，白马师兄晚安。好的，已经和大家一一的打过招呼了，谢谢大家。
Thank
欢
you
迎大
everyone for taking time to join this
如果
class.
您方便
And
的
warmest
话，
welcome
请
to
把您
the
的手
the
机
class
卡打
today.
开，
And if it's
并输
convenient
上
for
密
you,
码号。好像今天大家都很棒，我一来就可以
please
看
turn
到
on
大
your
家的
camera.
名字，又可
And
以
also
看到
please
大家
rename
的回
yourself to
复，
your Dharma name
是不是很
so
有
it's
趣呢？
easier
跟教堂
to
里
say
面
hi
的
to
感
everyone.
觉是不是不一样的，对不对？好的，谢谢大家。好，
Thank you everyone.
那么我们在这一节中呢，博学多才、才华横溢的吴志在老师将为我
So
们
in
深入的
our
解
in
析
today's
佛
class,
经
we
上
will
有
have
记载，
the most
根据
experienced teacher Wu to share with us on today's topic.
不好意思，佛经上有记载，根据人在临终往生前的不同
And
症状，
today's topic is
便可知未来是往生何处。而
based
释经
on
亦有提及，由此
several
可推
sutras.
算，既可验
There is an
证
indication
亡者将来
based on the
往
state of
生
the
之
body
处，
of the disease.
亦有教导众
We
生
can determine the
而
realm
且
that the
正
disease
因
has been
研
reborn
究此，
into.
才有把握往生佛国，以及明
And
了中阴圈释法
one
对
should
往
maintain
生的警
right
醒。
mindfulness and right
吴
view
自在
to
老师
ensure
将为大
at
家
the time
在
of
这
death
一
to
节
ensure that
深
one is
入的
reborn in
讲述。
Pure Land. So this will all be
好，我们现在的时间
elaborated
已
in
经是
detail
晚上的
by
8点
teacher
整，
Wu
我们生命
during
体验
class
课
later.
程
So it is
正
now 8
式
p.m.
开
and
始。
we will begin
首先，
our
让我
Etiquette
们
of
大
Life
家一起虔
class
诚
today.
恭敬和
So
祷告，
firstly, let us
顶礼根本传承上师圣
put
真
our palms
永
together to
生
pay
佛法，
homage to our root
历代
lineage guru
传
Living
承
Buddha
祖
Lian Sheng,
师，
past
传承三宝
lineage gurus
诸
of
佛
True
菩
Buddha
萨，
School
祈请
and
圣
the
真
triple
本师活
gems
佛大力加
of
持，
Buddhas,
今
Bodhisattvas,
日
and
圆满
Mahasattvas,
顺利
Dharma
结
protectors of
束
the shrine.
因缘。
We pray for
本
blessings
愿
such as
世
our
界平
learning
安
journey may be
如此
smooth
顺
and
利，
fulfilling. Let
此
us
时
form the
我们
Padma
各自
Mudra
诵
and
咒
recite the
祷，
Padma
众
Kumara
祈愿，
mantra 7
是咒
times.
唵咕噜连声
Om
悉
Guru
地
Lien
吽，
Shen Siddhi
唵
Hom.
咕噜连
Om
声
Guru
悉
Lien
地
Shen
吽，
Siddhi
唵
Hom.
咕噜连
Om
声
Guru
悉
Lien
地
Shen
吽，
Siddhi
唵
Hom.
咕噜连
Om
声
Guru
悉
Lien
地
Shen
吽，
Siddhi
唵
Hom.
咕噜连
Om
声
Guru
悉
Lien
地
Shen
吽，
Siddhi
唵
Hom.
咕噜连
Om
声
Guru
悉
Lien
地
Shen
吽，
Siddhi
唵
Hom.
咕噜
Om
连声
Guru
悉
Lien Shen
地吽。
Siddhi Hom.
阿弥陀佛，
Vidaba,
尊敬的授课师吴自在老师，尊敬
most
的会长
respected
莲花建金师老
lecturer,
师，
Teacher Wu
尊敬的教育处处
our
长
TBF
恩师老
Chairman,
师，尊敬
Master
的
Chen
文
Zhu
学部
Education
副总理
Director
叶
Master
上
Lian
师，
Ha,
尊敬的公关
Publicity
部
Director
部长
Master Lian
贾
Yue,
上
PR
师，
Director
尊
Master
敬
Lian
的一
Jia,
飞上师，以及线上
as
收听的上师、
Master
教
Lian
授师、
Fei, as well
师
as all
讲
masters,
师、
senior reverends,
助教
reverends, Dharma
及世
instructors,
界
Dharma
各地的莲
assistants,
花
and
同志们，
all
大家早上
fellow
好，
Padma Kumaras
午安，
online
晚上吉祥，
all over
欢
the
迎
world.
大家
Good
参
day
加
to
今
you
天的
all.
课程。上一
Most
节
welcome
课，
to today's
吴自在
class.
老
In
师
the
为我
previous
们
class,
讲解
Teacher
了
Wu
生命礼
has
仪之灵骨塔的选择和使
shared
用。
with us on the topic
今
of the
天我
selection of
们
a
将
Columbarium
开始
niche and
第
the
五章，
enshrinement
参照
sadhana.
须知第3
And
节，
today we'll be moving
如
on
何
to
确定
the
亡
third
者
lesson of
往
chapter 6,
生
how to
已尽。
determine the realm
接下来就让我
disease
们
has
以
been
最
reborn
热烈的
into.
掌声，有请授课
And
师
let's
佛学
put
知
our
识
hands
渊博
together
吴
to
自在老
welcome
师为我们
Teacher
更
Wu
详细的讲授。有请吴自
for
在老
today's
师，
class.
谢谢。
Teacher Wu please. Thank you.
请大家再次的
All right.
恭敬合掌。
So let us put our palms together again
我们顶礼根本传承上
to pay
师
homage
真
to
佛，
our root lineage guru, Living Buddha Lian Sheng.
顶礼佛法僧
Pay
上
homage to the triple gems,
顶礼
Buddha,
真
Dharma,
佛，
and Sangha. And
顶
uh,
礼真佛
pay
陀，
homage to all Buddhas and
祈愿
Bodhisattvas
大
and
慈大悲
Mahasattvas,
救
and the more protectors of the
广
shrine.
度直播生
We
命
pray
智慧
for
顺利，
blessings
人人得到法益，
such that today's
真佛陀
online
感
class
悟
may
弘
be
扬世界，
fulfilling
and the TBS drama may be propagated worldwide. TBF chairman Master Cheng Zhu, education director Master Lian Ha, publicity director Master Lian Yue, PR director Master Lian Jia, as well as Master Lian Fei, and also all masters, senior reverends, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, and all uh, fellow disciples from all over the world. Good day to all. I am Wu Zizai. And thank you all for taking time to attend today's online class. And special thanks to the TBS Online University content preparation team as well as the translation team. And thank you to today's host, Mayor Zhu Jiao, English interpreter as well as Indonesian interpreter Tu Zhen Shisheng. All right, today we have another class on the etiquette of life. And today we'll be talking about chapter 6, things to know about virus, and lesson 3, how to determine the realm the disease has been reborn into. So seeing this topic, it is extremely important because after we have done a lot of things for the disease, we hope to know where the disease has been reborn to. And before we start today's class proper, let us do a quick recap on the previous lesson to make sure that everyone has remembered the contents from previous class. All right, so the first question is, after cremation, the remains of the deceased will be kept in an urn, and a columbarium is the place where the urn will be kept. From the options below, please select the incorrect name for a columbarium niche. A is 聚财塔 or fortune gathering pagoda. B is 骨灰龛 niche for ashes. C is 纳骨塔 pagoda for storing ashes. And D is 宝塔 or pagoda. So you can key your answer into the chat box. So this is a relatively simple question. So if you're able to understand Chinese, this is even easier, will be even easier for you. So yes, A is the incorrect option. All right, let's move on to the next question. 林武的连生 said, geomancy or the art of reading the land is in accordance with 5 major principles. Please select the incorrect set of the 5 major principles as given below. So you have to select the incorrect set. So A is dragon, lair, beach, water, direction. B is sand, lair, dragon, water, direction. And C is water, lair, sand, dragon, and direction. So it's actually a trick question. So you have to select the incorrect option. So it seems like there's a majority of the people chose A, some chose B, some chose C. So the incorrect set is option A. So A is the wrong one. So why do we say it is a tricky question? Because actually they sound very similar in Chinese, these characters. So what is wrong here is the third character, the sha.
穴的左右两边那个叫环抱的那个杀手，我们叫杀手，就是挡住，没有挡住，保护左右两边有护卫，保护我们中央的血场血心，所以有主有皇，我们上次讲有皇帝嘛，皇帝旁边要有护卫，那最主要的护卫城墙。那个杀手呢，不是沙子，是泥沙十字旁，表示说 说它也是一个
Yeah,
主题。
so the only difference is the third character. The one in option A is wrong, while the one in
这个
option
题
C
目
is
就
the
很
correct
好
one.
很有水准。
Option B and
来，
C.
问题3，分金
So
在
this is a
三
tricky
个时
question.
空有内外
Question
分金。
3.
那我会把这个
Fenting,
面向代表
literally dividing the goal in geomancy,
大
comprises
大古塔
both
的
internal
石
and
头
external
那个
study. The
石头
facing of the
大
urn
它
housing
的
the
什么
remains
怎么
is
分
internal
A
fencing,
窗口 B
and which of the below
门口
is external
C
fencing?
马
A is window,
大家开始回答，
B is door, or
开
C
始
is
回答，开
broad.
始回
Of
答，开始
all
回
of
答，
these are of the columbarium.
不要
So
错
you
过答
can
案。
put your answer in the chat box. A is window of the
好，
columbarium,
大部分
B
的
is door
人
of the columbarium,
都
and C is
回
root of the
答
columbarium.
B， 都答
So I
A
see
这样。
majority of the answer is B.
有没有答 A 的？窗口。
So is there anyone who answered A?
正确的答案是
Alright, so the
B，
right
好，
answer
很
is
好。
B,
师尊讲
door of the columbarium.
内分
So
金切入内
Grandmaster
涵的方
said
向，哦，就那个
the
开
internal
手照
fencing
的那
is
个
the
投影。
facing of the earth
第二个
housing,
方向呢，就是内
and the
外方。
external
好，那这个代表
fencing
对应的就是我们传统土
is
上
the
墓碑
door of the
跟
columbarium.
棺木真正入矿之后的那个角度。
So this
情况
corresponds
在一样
to
的时候呢，可能有一点点不同的
the
时候，哦，墓碑跟那个棺木不一定会一样的同向，这就是叫做内外分金，哦，方向不一样。啊，那上个礼拜我们也
this
是
corresponds to the
都理解
tombstone as well as the angle
讲
which
清楚，就是我们
the
看这
coffin
个方位，哦，
uh
然后呢，
is
这个
is in the
视
grave.
频播出
Yeah.
之后呢，我觉得啊，哈，我们这
All
么
right.
说，
So
大家真的都比我还用功，哦，我说我找不到师尊以前讲过
I
的一
think
个旋转360度可以破除一切煞气
so
的。我说
in the
为什么
previous
没有
lesson I
人做
shared I shared that
你看我
I
们
have
可爱的
heard
法师，
I
哦，
have saw
那个，哦，他
a
们
video of
帮我
Grandmaster
做到了
explaining about
这个
the
视频，
turning the urn
那
one
这
round
个
to
哦，
eliminate
你
the
们如果
negative
错
chi
过
from
哦，
all
可以，
directions
但是
when
这
it
个
comes
视
to
频
internal
哦，
and
我们
external
就有了。
fencing.
好，
So
我们现在先来
I
看
said I
看
couldn't find it, but a reverend helped me
师尊
find it,
心
so
中
we can
想的是什
now
么？好，来请师
look
尊
at the
讲哦。
video
业界
which
的要
Grandmaster
往哪里
is
去，我都敢。那坟场我已经爬遍了，台湾
sharing.
投到台湾
So
不是
Grandmaster is saying that I've been to many graveyards and
到屏
all
东
over
桃园
Taiwan,
台
such
中
as
花莲，
Pingdong, Fanglia,
从苏澳
Taitung, Hualien, from
从
Suao,
台湾的最上面的苏澳、宜兰那边一直
from the
下
top
到更下的
Suao and Yilan at the topmost part of
然
Taiwan,
后往东
all the way to
西
the
到屏
bottom,
东
Kaohsiung,
台南，
and towards
一
the
路
east
往
in
东部，
Pingdong and
哪
Fangliao.
一个坟场我没有去过，
So there is no cemetery I've not been
全
to.
是死驼铃了，看了这么多了。
So I've
粪坑
seen
里面
many
你也不
graves.
是粪坑，坟坟墓坟坑，你也
Yeah.
钻进去了嘛，对不对？
So I've seen so
你
many
也
graves
进
and
去
have
了，那个
entered
坟
them.
做的大里面呢，那金刀安啊都要摆啊，你也照样进去啊，都钻进去摆了。那个都有小洞啊，有小门，
So some
打
have
开啊，
small
进去钻
openings
进去，
or
把
doors
把
in
那个
them,
摆正了，
and I have to
还有
enter them
内
to
外
study
分
the
金。
internal and
你
external
里面的
fencing.
你只要有冲换了，冲换到外面的这个方向，
Sometimes the
里面
internal
可以
position
摆
of the
稍
urn,
微
which is
特
the
别的，
internal fencing, does not
就会
harmonize
把
with
这
the
个
facing of the tombstone
里面的
or the
方
external
向
fencing,
跟
so the energy
这个
clashes.
墓碑的方向啊不一致，叫做内外分金，这是风水里面的，这也是一种破法。
So this is
摆下去
internal
以
and
后，
external
金刀啊
fencing
转
in
一
feng
圈，
shui,
就是
in
上面
geomancy.
都有方
So in
位
this
的煞，
case,
你要
you
去学一些
need
方法。
you can move the urn to the side slightly.
所以这个师尊呢，也是把生死之事啊，
好，啊，大家看哈，
So when lowering the urn,
这
you have to
个
turn it
咱们的直接
360
上师
degrees
尊
to
当然是
eliminate any
最
negative
最
chi
有
from
名的
all
哦，
directions.
他其
There's
实
always a
在这个
method
时
to
候就已
address
经把
issues
所
like
有
this.
这个坟场都跑
So
遍
this
了，
in this
他
video,
认识
Grandmaster
很
has
多
said that he
他们
actually
的
visited
生命
all
可是
the
真的是
graveyards and cemeteries
传
all
承
over
下来
Taiwan.
的祖师爷
And
爷
from
子
this,
活
we
佛，
we
哦，
can
这
truly
个
say
生
that this
生不
class,
息的
the
祖
Etiquette
师
of
爷，
Life,
所以
has
说
also
呢，
has
今天
lineage
我
from
们用这
Grandmaster,
样
since
的
Grandmaster has
有
so much
机发展
experience in
的
this
方
area.
法，好，
And
那
we, as
当
disciples,
然
we have
在师
to
尊的指
propagate
点下，
the
我
true
们
Buddha
才
school
走向
Dharma
真正的修行
in
之
this
路，
aspect as well.
哦，那
And when
他就是在这个走向更就近的修行之路，可是实际上师尊
So afterwards, Grandmaster also has taught us cultivation through the uh through Buddha Tantric Dharma, but such knowledge on geomancy as taught by Grandmaster is also able to help sentient beings as well. So Grandmaster has said you to avoid eliminate any negative chi from all directions, you actually can turn the 360 degrees. So this is something that Grandmaster has taught us. So we can remember this as well. All right, so we will move into today's class proper, and we are talking about the realm after death, and we'll look at whether any of the Buddhist canon or Buddhist sutras has talked about this topic. And personally, I've not came across this sutra before. So thank you to the TBS online university content preparation team who have found this information. So actually, this all these information are written in the Buddhist canon in a Buddhist sutra, particularly in the protection of the ruler of the state Dharani Sutra. Shakyamuni Buddha once explained in his teachings to Ajatasattu that various phenomena occur when a person is dying, and according to the signs and phenomena observed, one can predict where the dying person will be reborn in the next life. According to the scriptures, there are 6 types of signs as follows. So let us take a look at them. So the first one is for those who are about to fall into the hell realm, the following 15 signs are observed when they are dying. The first is they glare angrily at their husband or wife, as well as family members, both males and females alike. So this is their temperament becomes very angry. So this is a sign. The second is often raising their hands to touch or grasp the sky. So I personally seen this. There are some family members who tell me that the deceased is making some raising their hands to touch or grasp the sky. So this is something that I've seen before. And the third one is they do not abide by the guidance of virtuous teachers. So they before their death, they actually do abide by the virtuous teachers, but suddenly when they are nearing death, they turn and switch and they do not listen anymore to the guidance of virtuous teachers. And fourth is they often wail, weep loudly, sob and shed tears. The fifth is they unknowingly urinate or defecate themselves without control. So this is also some physical symptoms. Their eyes are often closed and not open. So they yeah, because they often have no more strength, so their eyes are closed and not open, but they still can hear. So you can see them so most of them do not have any energy to open their eyes or to eat to feed themselves, but they can still hear what we are saying. So the seventh is using their hands or objects to cover their head or face. So it looks like they are afraid to see something. And eighth is lying on their side to eat and drink. Ninth is their body and mouth emit a foul or odor. So this may be because of uh illness as well. The 10th is frequent weakness and tremors in the legs and knees. So these may be seen in the early stages. So their nose may also be crooked to one side. There is no more strength. That's why so you may see their ears also like slowly shrinking and wrinkling. So it may be because there's no more strength. So there's also frequent twitching of the left eye. 13 is eyes become red in color or bloodshot. and they often sleep on their stomach at night. So it may be because they feel uncomfortable otherwise, so they have to sleep on their stomach at night. And the last one is their bodies are often curled up with the left side of the body on the ground or bed. So this is all written in the sutra. So they are unable to extend their body, so they can only curl up. All right, so previously we talked about those who are about to fall into the hell realm, which is undesirable. And the second part we're moving on to is for those who are about to fall into the hungry ghost realm. You may see the following 8 signs when they are dying. The first one is enjoy licking their lips. So they often feel that their mouth is very dry, and they enjoy licking their lips. Their bodies are as hot as fire. They often feel hungry or thirsty, and they enjoy talking about delicacies and delicious food. So it's quite similar to actual hungry ghosts. So even before they pass, they actually exhibit some signs of being a hungry ghost. So their mouths are often open and not closed. It's as if they wish to eat something. Their eyes are dry, much like eagles or peacocks. Um, and they may be sunken.
为什么讲雕鸟我不太确定了哦，大概是眼睛变小了，张不开了哦，应该是这样，尖尖的这样。无有小便、大便有一样哦，就是
So no leakage of urine or feces, no urinary or fecal incontinence.
代谢功能完全没有了，哦，没有办法代谢，所以当然就没有大便、小便啦。哦，好，第7个，右膝盖常先觉变冷，哦，就是他的右边的膝盖变冷，可以去摸摸看。哦，还有右
Then the right knee often feels cold first, often becomes cold first, and the right hand is often clenched into a fist. So you can determine from these 8 signs whether the disease is about to fall into the hungry ghost realm. And the third one we are going to look at is for those who are about to fall into the animal realm. The following 5 signs are observed when they are dying. They have deep attachment to their wife, often gazing at her greedily or insatiably. So the greed within them becomes very strong, and the bones of the hand and feet appear bent. So this may be kind of similar to an animal's hands and feet, I guess. Third is often sweating all over the body. This may be in the early stages. And they have a low and hoarse voice. Something much similar to like those animals, the sounds that animals produce. And there's a feeling of saliva in their mouth or foam that they are unable to control coming out of their mouth. So this is like signs of greed they have manifested. All right, so previously we talked about the 3 evil realms, those diseases that are going to fall into the 3 evil realm. Next, we'll move on to one in the for those who are about to be reborn in the human or mortal realm. So this is in the following 10 signs. The first is when they are dying, they have wholesome thoughts such as a gentle mind, a carefree mind, a subtle mind, a mind that has aspirations, a joyful mind, and a virtuous mind. And they do not experience any pain in the body, no pain in the body. They are not talkative, but remember their parents wholeheartedly. So they will remember their parents who have an affinity with them, and they also cherish their wife and children, look at their family members as they normally do. So this is also a sign that they will be also, again reborn as a human.
妻子和儿女起爱惜心，像平常一样瞻视眷属哦。
So they cherish their wives and children, look at their family members as they normally do, have no greed, no love, attachment, nor hatred, and enjoy hearing the names of their brothers, sisters, and loved ones. So they may be thinking, I might, when they are dying, that they would still wish to be married to their wife, and they still want to be family members with their current family members in their next life. So this is kind of, so I've seen cases like this as well. Their mind is able to distinguish good and evil clearly and distinctly. So these are also characteristics of humans generally. Their mind remains righteous and just, and they do not speak falsely or improperly. So the human realm is also a wholesome realm to be reborn in. Is not considered an evil realm. They are aware that their parents, family, and friends often care for them. And when reflecting on their family and endeavors, they are content and full of praise. And so they feel that their life has been fulfilling, and they have no regrets in a sense. And they inform their family of the place where they hide their treasures and instruct them to take the treasures out to share them. So let's say, yeah, so for example, if they have won the lottery, etc., they will inform their family member of where they have kept them. So yeah, so they show a lot of care and concern towards their family. And they have pure faith in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and take refuge in the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So this is also characteristic of humans. Just like us, we also have also taken refuge in the three jewels. So if you see all these signs, it means that the disease are likely to be reborn in the human realm. Alright, so right now I will talk about some of my personal experience after we have talk about the sutra earlier. So before I became a ceremonial service provider, actually, if you are not one, you would likely not have any chance to see these dead people disease. So before actually I became a ceremonial service provider, I also didn't have any idea on the signs or symptoms at the point of death. But probably because now I've seen many cases, many deceased people, I now know what are the typical signs at the point of death, and have also learned to recognize them. So some people have also asked me to because they know that I am able to see these certain symptoms. They have invited me to help look at the deceased body. Yep. So below I will share a bit of the general symptoms nearing death, and these are and the type of care to provide. And these are also the aspects that the family members can help in to to help the disease pass on more smoothly, in order to help the disease become more comfortable. Yep, so these methods can help alleviate the suffering at the end of life for the disease, and therefore can help in a wholesome death and rebirth in a better place for the disease. So the first one is the disease may feel lethargic and weak, and they may have no energy to turn their body over or open their eyes, or they are unable to concentrate on talking to people. And some may even sleep for the entire day. So you may see this sign before they are going to pass, and it's quite hard to wake them. So they also slowly slip into a state of unconsciousness. So at this time, we can help the patient to turn over or to help give them massages. So don't force the patient to get out of bed or wake up the patient. So this is not required. All right, so the next is the patient may also have experience a change in their consciousness. Some people will remain lucid, but others may lose consciousness or experience disorientation, restlessness. They may experience confusion about time, places, and people. So they may not know what time is it at what's the time, and then maybe they will not recognize certain people. And they may also see hallucinations and say certain things. So these symptoms are typically related to a lack of oxygen to the brain and deteriorating blood circulations. So these are some of the physical symptoms you see. So how should we what is the type of care that we should provide? So first, as their family member, don't try to refute the patient and say, no, I'm not who and who. You're saying it wrong. So yes, so try your best not to refute or try to change the patient's mind, no matter how ridiculous or factually incorrect it may be, and listen to what the patient has to say. If they want to go home, it is best to respect their wishes. So have to see each case by case. So if it may also not be appropriate for the patient to go back home due to the lack of space, but this is something that the family members have to consider. So I feel that if you are talking to the patient, you can touch their hand, feel their hand, hold their hand while you are talking, and you first is they are able to feel you, and the second thing is you are also able to feel the let's say your mother's or father's hand. So it, apart from that, you may also put on music or put on like Buddha songs or some relaxing melodies to help soothe the patient's mood. So usually the patient is still able to hear, so family members can try to talk to the patient and tell them like who is around. And for example, if they wish to see anybody, uh, contact all of them and get them to come down and tell the patient, oh, who and who is here to see you, and also uh tell them that you love them when they still can hear you, when they still can understand you, and not when they have passed. So you have to say that you love them, express your gratitude, your thanks, before they actually pass. So I think now the our generation is more open to expressing love as compared to the previous generation. All right, so the third symptom that you may see is that the patient have difficulty swallowing and they are often not eating or drinking. So actually, uh, it's because okay. So actually, this is a very common symptom at near death. So do not force the patient to eat or drink. So as they progress towards death, you have to slowly let their bodily functions slow down and do not force them to eat food and or drink water if they do not feel like it, because of their because their bodily functions are slowing down, so they do not need that much food and water. And if you feed them too much, they will feel uncomfortable. So, yep, so if the patient is unable to swallow but family members still feed them, the food will instead flow into the lungs and cause aspiration pneumonia, and this increases the patient's suffering. So, reducing food and water intake is actually a way for the patient to adjust to the near-death process where their bodily functions slow down. Yep. And, and at this time, how you should take care of them is the patient's comfort should be priority. So just use a damp sponge to clean the inside of the patient's mouth, and then use lip balm to moisturize and protect the lips. So the patient will not feel hungry. Do not force the patient to eat. We can give a small amount of honey water or sugar water, because even if the patient eats, the food cannot be digested and absorbed. Yep, so when they are nearing death, really they can't even consume water, so do not force it on them. So the fourth sign you may see is that they have a loss of tension in muscles, and the patient, for example, the patient bowel movements will slow down, resulting in fecal incontinence or constipation. So these are the type of care that you have to provide. So if the patient is incontinent, adult diapers can be used. If the patient is conscious, it is best to ask for the patient's consent first to avoid uh, the patient's objection in the future, because we have to take into account their dignity as well. So in case of constipation, we may also have to wear disposable gloves and help scoop up the hard stools before giving enema or inserting medication. So all of these we have to be ready to prepare for such cases. So another sign you may see is they have reduced urine volume. So urinary incontinence or retention may occur due to loss of neuromuscular control. So when they are near death, you will observe that they have reduced or even no urine volume. Yeah, so if the patient is experiencing lower abdominal pain, restlessness, or inability to urinate, they may be experiencing urinary retention. So you may consider informing the nursing staff to use a urinary catheter. Yep, so another sign you may see is that the patients have cold hands and feet, uh, or night sweats, or blue or purple nails or lips. So if the patient also is perspiring incessantly, it is important to keep the patient comfortable by wiping them down often and changing them to clean clothes. So this is actually one of the indicators nearing death, near death indicators. So another symptom you may see is that they produce like rasping sounds that sounds nearing death, rasping or gurgling or gasping sounds. So yeah, so this is due to the patient's inability to cough up the secretions accumulated in the throat or the increase of secretions in the lungs. So this is often mistaken by family as too much phlegm, and they ask for phlegm extraction for the patient. So if you see these symptoms, it indicates that the patient is about to pass already. So if you see them producing this rasping sound, you can elevate the patient's head by about 30 degrees or put the patient on their side to help them breathe easier. A cotton swab can also be used to remove secretions from the mouth. All right. So then the last one is changes in breath patterns and heart rate. The patient may open their mouth to breathe, and they may have an irregular breathing rate and depth of breathing. So when they breathe, it might seem like they are sighing. Their breathing may even stop temporarily. their heartbeat will slowly become weaker, slower, and more irregular, eventually stopping. I think you can also observe their 嗯 blood pressure and also 呃 blood oxygen level. So if their blood oxygen level is slowly decreasing until I think somewhere around, if I heard correctly, it's somewhere around 80. Yeah, this also is a sign that they are about to pass. And if you see these signs, you have to you can contact the ceremonial service providers, the funeral providers, so that they can prepare.
好，
Alright, we'll move back to our lecture notes. So previously was some of the my personal experience when I some of my personal experience. So now we'll be looking at the realms that are better than the human realm. So yep, so for those who are about to be reborn in the heavenly realm, the following 10 signs are observed when they are dying. First is they are sympathetic, and second is they develop wholesome respirations, and before death they still aspire to participate in do wholesome deeds, good deeds. And third is they are joyful. They are joyful because they are going to be reborn in the better realm, and they have the right view. Right view is present. There is no foul order, so this actually corresponds to a heavenly being. Uh, they do not have any their body is clean. There's no foul odor. Uh, their nose is not crooked.
简单讲就是看起来像看像正常的样子，不像往生的样子。真的有人往生，
So they look they look very normal, not like they are going to pass. Yeah, so it looks like they are sleeping in a sense, and not so you see all these rather auspicious signs that they are sleeping, that they are at peace, that yeah, it doesn't seem like they that they have passed. So they have no anger in the mind. And they do not also there's no more attachment to their wealth, wife or family members. So they are able they tell their family members that, oh, you do not have to be too concerned about my funeral matters, and do not be sad that I'm gone. Yeah. The color of their eyes is pure, and they look up with a smile on their face, remembering the heavenly beings coming to receive them. So this I've seen all these signs personally before, and actually, before we conduct the assistive chanting and after, there's actually a difference. Before the chanting, they may not look as at peace, but after the chanting, I see that they have a smile on their face. They look happy and content. So this is actually something I have seen personally, and even though it might not seem believable, but yeah, this is actually what I've seen personally. Okay, so so even better for our hearts, saints, or those who are about to reborn in Pure Land, regardless of whether they are accomplished in their cultivation or guided by Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, auspicious signs can be observed at the time of death. So the, you, you may there may be a fragrance in the room, or family members or sorry, or the deceased before they pass may have also see Buddhas and Bodhisattvas coming to receive them, and they have yep. So for most, their minds are still very clear, not confused. They do not forget or lose their pure faith and right view. They always sit upright with their palms together, respectfully reciting Buddha's name. And these are all auspicious signs. And they are often aware where their time has come. So I've also seen this. And some cases is family members have actually dreamt about the date that the deceased is going to pass. So this I have also seen such cases.
真的是这样
Or I have some cases where the deceased said to their family members, oh, uh, this is either I will go in these 1 or 2 days, in 1 or 2 days. Yeah, so yep, so they will wash up to purify themselves and change their clothes before waiting for their time to come. So these are not stories. I personally experienced these. I've seen this happen. So at the time of death, there will be light illuminating the body before their death. Great practitioners. So this is not these are applicable for great practitioners. So they will leave a verse to encourage sentient beings, and at the time of death, there may be a strange fragrance filling the room and heavenly music sounding in the sky, which are all auspicious signs indicating rebirth in Pure Land. So for True Buddha School and also uh for True Buddha School, we also have said we have also some signs that we can determine. So we will see after cremation the presence of sariras, 舍利子. So this picture is I think uh this is a picture that shared to me by a disciple. It's not something that I've seen personally. Yeah, so this is very good. And this belongs to a case that I personally handled. So you can see very obviously in the center. It's not as impressive as the previous picture, but there is also sariras in the middle, the round portions. And then this picture is sarira flowers. Sarira flowers it may also indicate that the disease has gone to the heavenly realm, or maybe or also maybe Pure Land, but maybe in the lower realms of the Pure Land. And this picture is also a case of mine that I personally handled. I think this master no 莲姐 mothers Sarira flowers. So these are found after cremation of the body. So these are Master 莲姐's mother's Sarira flowers. These are the whitest Sarira flowers I've seen. They are especially white. So Master 莲姐 also asked a Grandmaster about this, and Grandmaster certified that they are actually, yes, they are Sarira flowers. So yep, so there's another story. So the text roughly goes. So I think this Dharma brother is a pilot. So I think he piloted a plane uh that that brought Grandmaster from Taiwan back to Seattle. So so I think teacher Wu Zizai told this Dharma brother, like, can you put your the plane on autopilot, and then maybe you can consult Grandmaster on certain things that you want to. So the Dharma brother agreed and said he will do so. And yep, so the Dharma brother actually wrote a simple report on the plane, giving the details of his father's death since 1 year ago. And then in the report, he specifically mentioned that under teacher Wu Zai's arrangement, the master and reverends at Taiwan Lei Zhang Si gave their all in conducting Dharma-related activities for the father. And using his divine calculation, so he asked Grandmaster where his father, the realm that his father went, and Grandmaster checked and told this disciple that his father has actually indeed been reborn in Buddha land. And this Dharma brother actually said he shed tears of gratitude on the spot, and the knot in his heart for the past 1 year has been finally released. So this is very important. Many of the family members, the living family members, are still they still really want to know where their family members who have passed on, which realm they are in. Yep. So this one is more special. Of all the cases I've seen, this is the most special. It's an Avalokitesvara bone. So I've only heard about it, but I have not seen it until I took on this case. So how do you determine what is an Avalokitesvara bone? There is kind of like two hands on the end, and this may be part of the spine or the neck. So this is not really a complete Avalokitesvara bone. I've seen even once the pictures online that are even more complete. So if you see yeah, so it's kind of like the face of the Avalokitesvara with the two arms, and sometimes the arms may be linked. The arms refers to the parts on the side. Yeah, so this one, if this actually indicates a very favorable that the disease has went to a wholesome and favorable realm. And when the family members see this, and I point it out to them, they are very happy. All right, so we'll go on back to the lesson notes. As for Grandmaster, Grandmaster has wrote his yoga treatise on the 6 verifications of the state of death. So apart from the previous sutra that we talked about earlier, Grandmaster has also wrote on this. Grandmaster mentioned that when a person dies, the state of their death can reveal where the disease will be reborn in the future. Yep, so the state of their death. So the first is for the arhats and saints about to enter nirvana. Their heart and crown orifice will remain warm for several days. So you can touch the top of their head, and you feel that it's still warm, like they are still alive. For those who practice the 10 virtues, if the top of the head is warm before they stop breathing, they will be reborn in the heavenly realm, namely the desire realm, the form realm, or the formless realm. And for those who abide by the 5 precepts, when they are dying, if their legs become cold first, and it becomes cold all the way up to the navel, but if they are warm above the navel, before they stop breathing, they will be reborn in the human realm. So if their if the navel still remains warm when you touch it, it indicates that they will be reborn in the human realm. Okay, so if the top of their head is cold, their navel is cold, but they are still warm below the waist before they stop breathing, they will be reborn in the hungry ghost realm. So this is not a very favorable sign. So it's best if you can if the top part of their body remains the topmost part of their body remains warm as compared to the bottom. Yeah, and if the top of the head all the way to their knees is cold, but they are still warm below the knees before they stop breathing, they will be reborn in the animal realm. And if the top of their head, their navel, their waist, and their knees are cold, only the soles of their feet are warm, then they will be reborn in the hell realm. So so all right, so I just have something else to share. I think this is from the Taisho Canon on the Eight Consciousness. It's a very complex sutra, complex classical text. From the supplementary notes in this Taisho Canon on the Eight Consciousness, there is a passage that goes, summarizing the sutra, it is said that if there is good karma, the body becomes cold first from the bottom of the body, and if there is unwholesome karma, the body becomes cold first from the top of the body. So if the top of the head is warm, it means one has attained the fruit of sainthood. If the eyes are last to become cold, it means the disease has ascended to the heavenly realm. If the heart is last to become cold, it means rebirth again as a human.
表示什么？升天了。如果心窝温温的哦，代表是转世为人。刚刚是讲
Yep. So if you feel that their eyes are still, excuse me, that their eyes are still warm, it means that the disease has ascended to the heavenly realm. Then if you feel if their heart is still warm, is the last to become cold, it means rebirth again as a human. If the abdomen is still warm, is the last to become cold, it means that the disease has fallen into the hungry ghost realm. And if the knees are still warm, they are last to become cold, it means the disease has fallen into the animal realm. And if the soles of the feet are last to become cold, it means the soles of the feet are still warm. It means that the disease has fallen into the hell realm. So these are the above are ways to determine which realm the disease has been reborn in. So you can touch the disease after you have conducted assistive chanting and before the body goes for cremation or burial. Yeah, so after assisting in chanting for the disease, touch this sixth part of the body, the top of the head, the eyes, the heart, the abdomen, the knees, and the soles of the feet. And if there is still warm in a particular area, we can determine which realm the disease has been reborn into. And we will be discussing something that is more advanced, how to help the disease be reborn in a better realm. So apart from generally determining the realm in which the disease has been reborn into by observing the phenomena at the time of death as mentioned in the above sutra. So actually all these signs we only can generally try to determine the realm. But if we want confirmation, if we wish to ascertain the realm in which the disease has went to, we have to invite great virtuous teachers or Vaja masters to observe with their Buddha eyes.
往西吹的这个风哦，就是习性，一直往由东往西吹，当然这个树木慢慢的就会往左边偏啊，哦，这就是习性。那所以当它死的时候，就树木倒了，当然就是由右往东倒下去嘛，哦，这就是
Yep, so the realm of the disease, the realm where the disease is about to be reborn in, is generally determined by their karmic entanglements and is dependent on the right faith and merits they have accumulated through the daily cultivation of Buddha Dharma. So it actually mostly depends on the habits that the disease had before when he was alive. However, if the disease has the good fortune to receive salvation from a great virtuous teacher or Vajra master when they are dying, the disease will have a chance at rebirth in a better place. So I'm only doing a very brief introduction because it's quite hard to find a virtuous teacher or Vajra master that can do this. So yeah, we will move. So this method is Grandmaster's method of the transference of consciousness. So for example, Grandmaster mentioned in his book Q&A with a Contemporary Dharma King that I, meaning Living Buddha Lien Sheng, previously used the method of transference of consciousness to deliver a diseased person. I first purified his physical body that was lying on the hospital bed using golden fire. So this is Joss paper lit on fire symbolizes purification. Then invoke the main deity of wisdom, which is Majeshri Bodhisattva, in the void to my index finger, which transform to the Vajra protector Yamantaka. I then use the light radiated by Yamantaka to open the disease crown orifice while sealing all the other orifices. So Grandmaster has talked about this before in his Dharma talk. There's a pith to it. So the transference of consciousness, he will help. So Grandmaster will help to open the heavenly orifices, which is the point at the top of one's head. There is 8 fingers away from one's forehead. And then Grandmaster will shut the earthly doors, which is the anus and the utero, and block the human path, which is the navel, and block the hungry ghost path, which is the mouth, both nostrils, both eyes, and both ears. So wherever there is an orifice, the Grandmaster will block it, will shut it, and only leave the top the orifice at the top of one's head open. And so this means that the disease has nowhere else to live through by. He can only live by the top of the head, the top of his head. And then yeah, so the light of Yamataka will then receive and guide the disease such that they ascend to the heavenly realm. Yeah, so if you exit through your crown orifice at the top of your head, you have to have a Buddha or Bodhisattva there to receive you. Yeah, so when we are doing visualization, we often visualize our the Buddhas or Bodhisattvas at the top of our crown. So this is actually a practice for when you are nearing death. Yeah, so to be able to do this transference of consciousness is not something that can be done by an ordinary practitioner. It can only be done by virtuous teacher, great Raja masters. And this is not something that anyone can do. Alright, so we'll have there's a video on right of Grandmaster on the transference of consciousness. So Grandmaster is saying that if you have not attained spiritual union with your personal deity, the deity will not descend onto your index finger and no light will be radiated. Hence, you will not be able to open the heavenly doors, shut the earthly doors, block the human path, and block the hungry ghost path for the deceased. So, then what should you do in such a situation? So at this point, if you are present by the side of the deceased, you can make use of chewing gum or something sticky. Yeah. So yeah, can use chewing gum and instruct the deceased on how their soul should leave the body by sticking the chewing gum on the point at the top of their head. Instruct the deceased and tell the deceased right now, there is only one way for you to go, to exit, and that is to exit through your heavenly orifice, the crown orifice at the top of your head. Yeah, so with the help of a chewing gum at that exact point, tell them that this is the point that you can leave. This is the only point that you can leave the body by. Place the chewing gum at the exact point and tell the deceased this is the only point that you can exit through. To be reborn in Buddha land or Pure land, your spirit can only exit through this point. So at this time, even if you have not attained spiritual union with your personal deity, you have to tell the deceased that their soul can only live by the heavenly orifice. You can instruct them on where this point is at the top of their head. So it's from one's hairline, it is the width of 8 fingers and right at the center of the head. This is one way to help the deceased. The second way, you have to tell the deceased, even if you have not attained spiritual union with your personal deity, you must still visualize your root guru and personal deity at the top of your head. If the disease cultivates regularly, tell the disease, speak to the disease, speak into the disease ear and tell the disease to visualize their root guru and personal deity at the top of their crown. You must remember to do this. This is because once the disease spirit exits through the point at the top of the head, their root guru and personal deity can immediately receive the disease and guide the disease to Pure Land. At the same time, tell the disease, tell the disease to recite the heart mantra, to quickly recite the heart mantra of your personal deity, or to recite the name of their personal deity. So let's say if your personal deity is Avalokitesvara, tell them to read if their personal deity is Avalokitesvara, quickly tell them to recite Avalokitesvara's heart mantra. So when my mother was about to pass, I performed the transference of consciousness practice on her, and told her, your time is near, you are about to pass, and right now you can only hope for your personal deity to come receive you. If you if you see Golden Mother appearing, you have to follow Golden Mother. If you see Avalokitesvara appearing, you have to follow Avalokitesvara. Avalokitesvara is your personal deity, while Golden Mother is the deity you respect and revere the most, who is also mine, or Grandmaster's personal deity.
好，那
All
师
right.
尊这个视频，好，有一
So
点点
this video of
听
Grandmaster,
的
there
前
is a
面
few
有讲过，
points.
就是
The first point
时
is
空牵制法其实是要
the
本尊
transference
参与，
of consciousness practice can
人
only
一定
be
要相应，
done by
然后才能
one who has
那个
attained
做
spiritual
成
union with their personal
所以
deity and Dharma
这个
protector.
是
Then
是
only then
不是
can
任何人随
it
便一
be
个人都可以
practiced. So it's not
来
anybody
上
who
这个
can
影
do
片，
this.
大家没有去哪里找这种人，所以师尊就是有时候
So
就讲说，那
because it's
如果
quite
你
hard to
要
find
在
cultivators who are
仪式的
able
时候，你
to
就是要
do
亲
this.
自用口香糖哦。那在食物
So
上面呢，
Grandmaster
我们
gave
大部
another
分都
way.
是用口香糖
So
蘸
you
酱
can make
油
use of
这个一种
chewing
做法
gum.
哦。所以大部分没有，我会用我的手指哦，或是拿着那个口
So
香名单
if
哦，就是特
so
别
I
去点
I
它的这个
in
饭穴哦，然后一面点
so in my personal
一面
experience, if I
用
use chewing
口
gum,
香糖
family members may
去
have
送给他，
may
其实就是在暗示
may
提醒
may find it
哦，
weird.
叫他有
So
最近
personally,
运气
I will use my
哦，
finger
流
and
通
point
打后，我们
or
说
touch
那个金刚明灯
uh
是点这里这里
to
这里，
indicate
对不对？
touch the
所以
point to indicate to the disease, or
大家点这里的原因是
I will
这样
also
哦，让家属
dot
安
the
心
Vaja sand
哦，
on that
但是
point
他
to
要
indicate
从顶
to
穴
the
这里
deceased that they have to leave from this
这样
point
做法
only.
大家不一定这么做，但是可以参考。好，
So this is a
好，
method
那
that I use, and just for
再
consideration,
来就是说师尊里面哦也有稍微谈到，我们要
Grandmaster
照
has also
往
mentioned
生
in the video
哦临终
that
时
we
的
have
本身
to
因缘去做这个
follow the
对治。
affinity
那
of
如果观世音菩
the
萨的
deceased
因缘比较好，
in terms of
就
helping them
需
with
要
their
用他的这个看相观
in
世音
terms
来
of the
接引。
affinity
他如果跟瑶池金母
sorry
好，我们就要
in terms of the assistive
跟他要
chanting.
跟瑶池金母哦接引。
So
那
if
如果是因为
they
我们心
have
中哎对这个
affinity
因
with
缘，我觉得是可以
Avalokitesvara, we have to
这个
tell
我
the
叫他
deceased that
这一定
they
要
have
接
to
引，
recite
这
this
是一开
mantra.
始我们在这个临终的当下
So
要
it
跟
is not
亡者临终者的因缘，因为他出去他的
so we have to
因缘
follow the
哦，要
affinity
以他的因缘为主，不是以我们行持
of
本
the
身的因
disease
缘
and not the
为主，
affinity
要
of
记住哦。那
not our
我
own
们接下来
affinity.
要谈一个叫做光明宝盒，就是对这个问题呢，这
All right, so
个佛教总
we will
会
talk about
去问
the
过说，那我们真的没办法这么
Bhagavad
多的
head next.
机会，尤其同门哦，散落在世界各地，不可能在往生的当下去找到有因缘啦。
So
可是有一个
especially
方法，就是
because our
我们写
disciples are
信
all over the world and they
贴
are
电报啊，哦，然后就
it
加
may
持啊，
it
或
may
者
not
是
be
直接写信
possible
哦。
to find
那如果可以释法，
Raja Master that
传
is
下
able to
来，
do the
这个是在
transference
我
of
对整个
consciousness
仪式当
practice.
中，哎，师尊是一
So
个师尊是一个开顶符，可是
That's so this bottle head was introduced. So actually this comes with a talisman that for the talisman that is for the opening of the crown orifice. So it's a bit, I think in its production uh there were discussions that it may be a bit weird if they paste the talisman directly on the head, on the bottle head. So think they have asked for Grandmaster whether the talisman can be directly stitched onto the bottle head. So Grandmaster say yes. So this is how actually the bottle head uh is is currently. So the talisman for the opening of the crown orifice has to be done by a master who knows how to who knows how to draw the talisman, and this will help the deceased open their crown orifice. So this is equivalent to opening the heavenly door as uh uh of of the previous practice of the transference of consciousness practice. So recently I have also gotten requests by family members if whether I can get a master who is able to perform the transference of consciousness practice. But I personally find that it's difficult to find masters who are able to do this practice. So I recommended that they buy this paddle head, so which kind of serves the same function. Alright, so the next part we'll move on to the end of life care, the last redemption. In the text End of Life Care, the Last Redemption, there is a story about a prisoner who was on death row, but Sariras was still found among his cremains after death. So I'm sure most of us are familiar with this story. So when Grandmaster was delivering a Dharma talk at the True Buddha Quarter, he previously mentioned this prisoner had only taken refuge for 1 year, but he was extremely diligent and in learning and cultivating Buddha Dharma, that in only half a year's time, Sariras was found in his cremains after he was executed. After practicing Buddha Dharma for half a year, it was enough for him to be reborn in the Western Pure Land of ultimate bliss. And within this story, there are two key points. And what are these? So the first point is that he knew that he was going to be executed, and there was no turning back for him. So he recited Buddha's names, the True Buddha Sutra, the High King Avalokitesvara Sutra with his sincerest heart. So he continued to recite mantras, sutras, Buddha's names wholeheartedly, and it was even more sincere than people who had recited 1,000 or 10,000 times. So this is the main point, as he had no other option. Whenever he was reciting every syllable of Buddha's name, he did so wholeheartedly. So the second point is, in the half-year period when he was in his prison cell, it was similar to a practitioner in seclusion or in retreat, and there was no longer any intention or opportunity for him to create karma. So the only thing he can do was to recite sutras and Buddha's names sincerely, often invoking Buddhas and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be with him, and hence he often cultivated Buddha Dharma in a pure and tranquil environment. And this resulted in Sariras found among his remains and his rebirth in the Western Pure Land. And so this is the testimony that a death row prisoner has given to us, in which a time limit was set for attainment. Alright, so there's also another example, True Liberation by the True Buddha Tantric Dharma. So there is, at the end of the 20th century, there's also a true story that goes that is about Mr. Mao He Guan. So I've seen this story 20 years ago. So Mr. Mao He Guan became seriously ill, hence his children lit incense and praise for the blessing of Grandmaster, and they also spared no effort in following the instruction in the Kristagarbha Sutra to the best of their ability. Mr. Mao then passed away. However, at the time of his death, there were many auspicious signs such as his weight dropping to an auspicious number of 108 pounds at the time of his death,
代谢啊一直排掉哦，没有劲嘛，那当然
and as
没错哦，往生时的虚空传来佛赞天音，哇，不容易哦。那毛先生呢？
and at the time of his death, heavenly music and praises of Buddhas could be heard coming from the sky. And Mr. Mao, who recited Buddha's names when he was dying, sat upright with a smile at the time of his death, and there was a miraculous sight in the sky.
他的头骨
And on the day of cremation, a sparkling vertical rainbow descended from the sky. And after cremation, apart from finding shariras in various parts of his body, a black lotus flower with 1,000 leaves, a sharira flower, was also found in his skull, which was strewn with countless of white shariras of various sizes. It is worth mentioning that in the period when Mr. Mao He-guan was bedridden, he displayed no resentment or fear, and he was calm and relaxed. He remembered his root guru and his root guru's mantra at every moment. And before he passed away, he knew the time of his departure from this world. And with full clarity of mind, he passed away in a seated posture with a smile on his face while reciting the holy name of Amitabha Buddha. So wow, this is truly an auspicious sign of rebirth in Pure Land. Right, so some supplementary information. So I think we all know rebirth in a better realm is our goal. And apart from our daily cultivation, there's also a few other hurdles that we have to overcome. And this is just a sharing on what I have seen, my personal experiences. Right, so attainment of a good the death in terms of body, mind, and soul is not easy. So there are 5 hurdles to overcome. So the first hurdle is the torture of illness. So not everyone can pass away peacefully, pass away in their sleep. So many are subjected to illness before they pass, and they may be subjected to illness for like a few months or even a few years. So this is extremely torturous. We remember that when we are sick for a few days, we really cannot take it. But can you imagine the torture, experiencing this torture for a few months or even a few years? So what should we do when we are in this when we are maybe in this situation? So something I can a solution to this is we can when we do our cultivation, our practice, we can also do so we can also dedicate merits when we do our practice, dedicate merits towards having no obstacles when we pass on. So this will make a difference. And also to register for Dharma ceremonies and dedicate merits also towards no obstacles at one's death. And the second hurdle is a sudden arrival or reminder of impermanence. So it may not be that we may take some time to pass on. It may be also very sudden. It may be because like we have met with an accident and we pass on. So this is a sudden arrival or reminder of impermanence. So what is this solution? Solution is to write down one's wishes on one's funerals arrangement before death. So many times we do not actually communicate with our family members on what we would want our funeral arrangement to be, or we do not have the time, etc. Or our family members may not even know what religion we have taken refuge in, that we have taken refuge in through Buddha school. So when under these situations, uh, when we meet with a sudden accident or death, uh, the police will often reach out to family members instead of fellow disciples. So it's very important for you to communicate with your family members your wishes on funeral, burial, or cremation arrangements before death. And the third hurdle is ineffective medical treatment. So because some patients may have very severe illnesses, and then doctors may try to give many treatments, many medical treatments, and this may result in more suffering for the patient. So the solution to this is to sign forms of natural hospice care. So in the case where the patient is no longer patient or yourself, you are no longer able to recover from your illness, there's no need for you to or your family members to keep trying medical treatments and just instead partake in a natural hospice care for one to pass away naturally. And the fourth hurdle that we have to face near death is that maybe there's not enough affinity for end of life assistive chanting. So maybe there's not enough people to come help you with assistive chanting when you pass. So the solution to this is to you yourself can participate in more end of life assisting chanting with your cultivation venue as much as possible, as well as practice cultivation and dedicate merits. And if you help more with assistive chanting, you can help you yourself recognize the various indicators near death. And the fifth hurdle is maybe unable to trust family members because they may not follow your wishes, your funeral wishes, uh, because they may not understand if they are not in the same religion as you. So the solution to this is if you are able to write down your wishes on funeral, burial, and cremation arrangements before death, it will be easier for family members to follow. So these are more practical, more objective methods that can help in a more smooth and good death. All right, so we will now move on to the Q&A segment. We have come to the end of the class today.
谢谢吴自在老师。
All
我们
right,
现在
thank you,
看
teacher
看
Wu
上
Zizai.
个星期的问题。
All right,
第
we'll
一
now look
题，
at
阿弥陀佛，
questions from the
请问
last
简经
class, previous
三者
class
骨
first.
骸，
The
还必
question
须
is,
是做火化
Amidabha,
才进那古塔灵
may
骨
I
塔呢？
ask if the remains of the deceased will be cremated again before being placed in the columbarium niche? All right, so this question is based on the wishes of family members and past and our preferences in the past and preferences now. So in the past, cremation was not so popular, so I think they did not undergo cremation. They just purely clean the ashes or the bones, and then they will put the bones or the ashes in the urn according to the order. So the bones of the legs, the knees will slowly works in order into the urn. But nowadays it may be a bit different.
那古塔那么小，那骨头那么大，所以就是要火化。那我们的做法就是会在
So so now cremation is more practice because if you do not do so, if you do not cremate the remains before putting them into the inn, they may not be able to fit into the inn. So we will cremate the current practice. The current practice of today is more people will cremate the remains to kind of reduce the remains of the disease before putting them into the urn. So this is
有些塔位会
yeah.
是外面的是面向外面，也有在太
Okay,
阳
so the next question is
照射不到，这是否
some
适
columbarium
合？
niches are facing outwards and are also exposed to the sun during the day. Are these suitable? So in the past, many columbarium have many windows. So actually,
你看我们的坟墓那个墓
because columbarium niches as well as tombstones are more have more in energy.
它进塔进到那个家族墓里面那个小门打开然后它里面有放很多大瓮，师尊刚刚那个旋转360度开示的就是那个大瓮 放在墓，那个墓穴也是全部都是就是有一个门把它锁死，也是没有窗
So you
户。
see, actually, if you're talking about grave, actually we cover the grave entirely with soil, and then if you are doing inurnment, putting the deceased remains into to an urn, you they are also covered with they are also covered with the portion where their name is carved on. So yeah, because they are more of in energy, so it's more recommended for them to not be in direct sunlight because of the in energy. Yeah, so in the past, columbariums used to have a lot of windows and hence sunlight can come in. But then nowadays the columbariums
谢老
are
师。
not in this way,
阿弥
so
陀佛，
very rarely
请
sunlight
问
will come in.
所谓塔位的坐是指当我们面向塔位时，我们向的就是坐，然后我们的后面就是塔位的像，对吗？
对，他讲的是比较复杂
I
啦。其
think this
实
one is the direction.
后来我忘
Uh,
记了就是那个
the
字，但是
direction.
我们讲
This question is on the direction that the
不要
columbarium
跟塔位
niche
同
is
向。
facing.
例如说我现在塔位是在这里，
So you have
跟塔位
to
同向，面向出去的，那么就是做什么像什么。就是塔位的坐，面向那个门向，就是坐东一定是向西，坐南一定是朝北，这个是相对的。所以所谓的坐向就是向的那个方向，就是门那个方向对出去的。那你站的位置就是跟塔位的那个门或者是坟墓的墓碑是同向去看所谓的像。不是正对的墓碑，但是他讲的意思是这样没错，就正对的墓碑，我们就坐像就是坐，没错啦，是没错，但是一般我们讲不会这样讲。下一题。
所以能够成为我们的老师真的不简单。我看这个题目，我看了
I
很
think
久，
the
我都不知道
previous question is
说什
on,
么。
I think the right direction that the columbarium niche faces is the
怪怪的，但是我们做法就是
um
你就跟门同向去看就对了，就门
whether it's facing west, south,
谢谢
east
老
or
师
north. So
刚才
this
已
this
经
one you
解释
can
了。
probably refer to the
接下
previous
来
lesson
因为
for more
这是有
details.
新的规定，需要把祖
Okay, so
先
the
的
next
坟墓
question is
放到
because
新
of
地
the
区，
Indonesian
那坟
government's
墓
new
就移回呢？
regulations, we need to move our ancestors' graves
应该
to a
差不
new
多啦，因为
area
这个就是我们的
area.
迁葬啊。
So is there
所
any
以这个
sadhana for
对
this
不对？台
purpose?
湾也现在很多问题啊，
So this
包
is
括
what
像
we
我
call
们台
as
湾都要求你把土葬棺木起掘了，然后土葬里面已经很多叫做禁
excavating
止，
or
不让你葬，
digging
这
up
样子特
remains.
别利用，他不要让他鼓励你尽量。
So actually,
那
I
这个
this situation is
这
very
个
common today
不是
because
我们就
the government is
不好
encouraging
把
people to
宗教团体就会面
go
向
towards cremation
这
as
他们
opposed to
有
burial
有
because they want to
要
use the
求
land for a
他
better
迁移的
purpose.
地方，所以应该要有所谓的迁葬仪轨。那迁葬仪轨
So there
就是
is
当然迁葬跟建塔其实是一致的，
a
因为迁
sadhana
塔
for
比
this
较接近，
purpose
所以
when we
建
are
塔已
moving
经有了。那
the
建葬
remains of a
在
disease
土葬
from
的
one
时候就
place
是
to
把
another.
墓例如说我们就起掘嘛，那起掘要有破土啊，要本来我们就
So
是挖土就是要把
there's also
这
that
个骨棺
so this
或者
involves
是
the
棺木
excavating the
要有
remains
这个
and then also
墓穴里
groundbreaking.
面嘛，但是起掘刚好相反，我们会把它挖出来。那这个应该也要有仪轨。那目前
So
看起
there
来
should
是
be a
没有
sadhana
规
for
定所谓
this,
的
but there
迁
is
葬的仪轨，包括土葬
is
的迁葬、
appears
塔位
there
的
is
塔
no
位的
fixed
迁葬。
sadhana for
有
this
人
right
说
now,
这个塔位迁葬，那
but
个塔位，
it would be good
那
that if
这个
there
塔位
is.
迁葬，我认为应该要有。那就恭请真佛
So
中委会
if I may make a
制定
request to
正佛
True Buddha Foundation to have a sadhana for this purpose where
下一题。
好的，谢谢老
when
师，我们的学
when
生
we
们
want
应
to
该听得懂的。
excavate or
好的，下一题，
dig up
我们也
remains
是在问
of the
如果
deceased to move
可以
them to
给
another location.
上少许师尊法会
And
的
the next
红
question
豆，
is, can we
可
put a
以吗？
small amount of
有师
Homa
尊
ash
自己
from
给上
Grandmaster's
少许，
ceremony
可以吗？
into the deceased urn? Does this have blessing power from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? So I believe I think this is okay. No, so as long as there is blessing power, it's okay. So I will also put the Baja sand as well as the, if it's possible, the Bado blanket also. So for the Baja sand, apart from purifying the coffin, I will also put a little bit of the Vajra sand into the deceased urn before reciting some sutras and mantras and capping the lid on the urn.
好的，
Yep.
秋间助教问的，请问吴老师，起袜是否一定要在清明节？然后
So
骨灰龛在
he
有雕刻未亡妻女之名，
so the
请问
first
老
question
师
here
会
is
影响家属
for
的
the
意
act
义吗？
of excavating or digging up
感恩老师。
remains of the deceased, is it a must to do during is it a must to do it during Qingming festival? So this is not there is no need. So actually a lot of excavation is done after Qingming. And why is this so? So often many family members gather together during Qingming, then they will have a discussion. Uh hey this and should we move our ancestors or this disease um to another location? So yeah, so often this it is not a must to do it during Qingming festival. I often see it being done after Qingming, but you have to see it you have to also but for this excavation you have to select a proper date. You have to select a good date. And the second question is, Dharma brother Nish has carving with the names of his wife and daughter who are still alive. Will this affect the fate of family members? How should this be handled? So this is not encouraged. It is actually not encouraged. If it's possible to, if it's possible, you can replace the urn, but this is also a very big process. So this is also previously it was also practiced. Some of the deceased they actually uh carve the name of their grandchildren on their either tombstone or the yeah. So however, I think it is quite weird. So it is not practiced anymore. So this situation should be avoided.
后代的塔位要有层次之分，如以
Amitabha,
继位的可以
teacher
办法，
earlier
后
teacher
代
was mentioned that there
和
should be
兄弟姐妹的塔
distinctions
位是否也
in
有
the
层
levels
次
of
之
the
分呢？
ancestral and descendant niches. So let's say uh if the positions has already been determined, are there any methods to resolve it? Will it affect future generations? Are there also distinctions in the level of the niche for siblings? So it is best to have your elders or your ancestors niche above and a more top at the top of the niche at a higher position as compared to the descendants. Yeah, so there is yeah, so as for siblings, right, they are the same generation, so there is not really any distinction in the levels. So this is just a consideration. Yeah, when you are buying columbarium niches. Yeah.
好的，
So
金塔
if
是
you
否
have
如
if you are
果
putting them in
年
different
30
columbariums, then
就可以进
there's
塔放
then
上
this issue
月
that is
如
not
何处理？
applicable. The next question is when putting the niches into the columbarium, how should one handle the direction if the year is not in one's favorable direction? So previously we mentioned
可是那一年刚好我进塔的塔位是那个方向，怎么办呢？其实很简单，叫做站错。
so generally
有很多做法，我看到的做法就是有
we have to see whether the year clashes with the deceased zodiac.
一叠金子，就是我没有做，就先
However, there's
上面发一层金子，然后等今年过后，再找一天，把那个金子抽起来，然后再做正式的进塔的仪式。这个是要细节。
so it however this may be out of control if because we may not be able to choose the year to in-earn the to do in-earnment for the deceased. So in such cases, you can put a stack of joss paper 金子 below the urn for that year, the year that is clashing with the deceased zodiac. And then in the next year, after 1 year, when there is no more clashing energies, you can select a date and remove the joss paper from the bottom of the urn and then perform the inurnment procedure. So this is also a method that you can take. So I also often come across these problems. Yeah, so if you so
好的，
yep.
下一题。传统上已分女性入夫家的神主牌位。
The next question is traditionally, married women typically have their names inscribed on ancestral tablets in the husband's family. However, there is a belief that unmarried women or even divorced women are not permitted to have their names inscribed on ancestral tablets, which may not seem entirely logical. How is this situation handled? Additionally, for ordained Buddhist nuns, bhikkhunis, is it also the case that they do not have their names inscribed on ancestral tablets? Is there a separate procedure for the ancestral tablets of ordained individuals?
所以我私底下也很多问题我觉得有意义的，大家需要一起知道的就这边公开跟回答没有错
So I've also
传统上其实很多很奇怪的那但是
so yes, traditionally these are some traditional beliefs and previously in the past generations the males are prioritized in the family as compared to the females are more prioritized. Males are more prioritized as compared to females. But there's a lot of problems with this traditions. So what happens if women do not get married? Is it because they or and what happens if
我要离开了，第二个我们要到对方的那个祖先牌去祭拜，说我已经嫁到你家了，懂吗？那祖先就是你已经离开了，那怎么回来？所以不甚合理，没错。那怎么办呢？就是传统上的做法就是好啊，那既然你已经出嫁，那又离婚了，那你这个就是你的祖先牌位就是只好在庙里面或塔位里面
all right, so I think the solution to this is so this is a bit illogical in because this is based on past traditions. Because by right, divorced women are not permitted to have their names inscribed on the ancestral tablets as they have already left the family in a sense. So in a sense, you can so apart from all these, you can get a space, a columbarium niche in a temple. So okay. Yep. So for unmarried women, they can be inscribed uh on their own family's ancestral tablets because they have not been married out of the family, so they can appear on their own family's ancestral tablets. So as for ordained Buddhist nuns, so they have actually ended their connection with secular life, so they can also so their ashes will be kept at the columbarium of a temple. Yep. So this interesting. This question is quite interesting.
我知道我们家不能自己包粽子。
So the next question is the Dragon Boat Festival is coming soon. I know our family cannot make 粽子 or rice dumplings. Can we accept 粽子sent back by our married daughter or can we buy them ourselves? I checked before and some folk experts say we cannot make or accept 粽子, while others say we can buy them ourselves but cannot accept those sent by others. With conflicting opinions, what should we do? Thank you for your help. So this is a very classic question. Traditionally, for various funeral practices, there's a lot of folk customs. So as Dharma propagators, we have to understand these customs, these folk traditions customs, and these folk customs actually differ across different countries, and we have to understand where these folk customs, these traditions come about instead of just dismissing them.
不能
So what is the reason for
其
this?
实它大部分就是
Uh,
禁忌的共
what is the
识。
reason for this
那一
custom?
样的意思就是怕接二连三哦。大家要知道，那个粽子是用线包起来，然后一拿就是叫做一串。那么我们民俗上会很怕
So
叫
it
做
is
一连串的祸事，因为毕竟丧事不是好事，他怕说这个丧事办完又有下一个丧事，那你拜这个东西就是
so this is similar to so this is kind of because the
同样的拜的东西，
there's a folk tradition
接二连三啊。
that links rice dumplings to successive events. So you see rice dumplings are always like tied in a string and they are in bunches. So it means that it family members will try to avoid this as it kind of signifies that because the dumplings are tied together, kind of simplifies that the successive bad events or successive deaths will occur. So that's why they avoid making rice dumplings.
民俗上又说不能包粽子，那不能拜粽子，那结就是把那个线剪。同样的，你想拜福桃，其实也是
So one way around it is Tia Wu is sharing that you can cut the strings of the 粽子 so that they are in individual pieces. So you
也是可以拜。
actually can yeah, so similarly for like things like bananas, grapes, they also come in a bunch, they're also connected. So actually you can separate them. You can separate them into individual pieces and you can offer them.
还是我刚刚讲的，要把它剪掉，避开那个所谓的不好的谐音的那个意义就好了。哦，
Yeah, so that you avoid the symbolism of having like multiple deaths or multiple undesirable events happening to the family.
我们就留到下个星期。
All right, so due to time constraint, we will stop today's class, and for any queries today, we'll address them next lesson. And thank you, thank you, Teacher Wu Zizai, for his interesting and detailed class, and thank you, Teacher Wu, for answering all our clarifications patiently.
感恩老师。
你可以跟我分享看看，我也可以
Thank you,
了解看
Teacher
看
Wu.
下一次可以请大家跟我讲一下，我也很想知道说其他国家有什么特别的民俗，让我体
So
验一下。
if you have any traditional any
民俗的问题可以留言在我们的 WhatsApp 群组。
folk traditions that are unique to your country, you may also share in the WhatsApp group so that Teacher Wu can also kind of get to know the different traditions
人生四化
in the different countries. So we'll move.
生从何处而来，死会往何处去？在12因缘法中所
So
提出
next
的
lesson we'll
有
touch on
5个
lesson
是
4.
早死的12个阶段。莲生活佛教导我们什么呢？如果您想知道在佛法之中为何人生是幻，下个星期
On why life is an illusion. So where do we come from where do we come from when we are born, and where do we go after we die? So these topics will be covered next week, and today we'll end the class today.
好，那各位
And we'll invite Joe to say bye to everyone.
师兄师姐提醒大家下一堂课虽然叫
And
不是结束我们结语
so just a gentle reminder to everyone, even though
课程
the next lesson is called a summary,
那这个结
it is not truly a summary. We will still have subsequent lessons.
我会讲很多我自己本身在殡葬
So even though the class next week is on life is an illusion, so I also share with everyone my experiences on what I have seen, what I have experienced in while I was when I am as a
朋友之间的一个体验
funeral service provider.
精彩的故事就等到我们下一堂
Yes.
课再来体验
All right. So I will leave the more interesting stories for next week. And
合掌感谢根本上师莲生活佛
and let us lastly put our palms together and thank our Grandmaster for his blessing, as well as all past lineage gurus of the True Buddha School. Thank gratitude to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, and Dharma protectors. And Thank you, TBF Chairman Master Cheng Zhu, Education Director Master Lian Ha, Publicity Director Master Lian Yue, PR Director Master Lian Jia, as well as Master Lian Fei, and all Master Senior Reverends, Dharma Instructors, Dharma Assistants, and all fellow Kumaras all over the world. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining this class today and for listening to this class. Thank you, Teacher Wu Zizai. Thank you, the English interpreter. Thank you, Indonesian interpreter Tu Zhen Shixiong. Thank you to Master Lian Fei leading the Indonesian interpretation translation team. And thank you to Senior Reverend Lian Ru, who is leading the English translation team. And as well as everyone that's working in the background. And all right, so goodbye, everyone. See you all next week. So you can unmute yourself to say bye.
谢谢
谢
老
老师兄，
谢谢
谢谢
太精彩了，
谢谢大家，晚
谢老师，
安。
阿弥陀
谢
佛。
下个礼拜
谢谢妹妹
再
们
见。
谢谢武自在老师，
感谢感
谢
谢，
谢
谢谢万亮，莲花万亮师兄，
啊，谢谢，
谢谢大家，
拜拜。
下个礼拜的课程会更精彩哦。
谢谢莲花木和师兄，拜拜。
拜拜。
谢谢谢谢。
谢谢莲花国华师兄，
谢谢武赞老师，谢谢，拜拜。
拜拜。